Alright y'all, what's going on? It's Member here, and welcome back to the channel. Now, for this video, I just want to do a little bit of a discussion. Really, I'm not really sure how much gameplay I'm really going to show in this video, but yeah, let's just jump right into it. So, I'm going to be honest with y'all, I really don't think we're going to get another new mechanic for Street Fighter 6. Now, this is just my personal opinion, and this is just, based off of my experience and, just what I think of the game thus far from playing, following a lot of the major events, major tournaments, and just keeping up with the news that Capcom has been putting out for Street Fighter 6 and whatnot, and just putting all that together. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm not saying that I don't want new mechanics and I don't want new change to shake up the game, because I really do. But but at the same time, I just don't believe we're going to get that. The reason I even came to this conclusion is just based off of the pace at which the game gets balanced, and just understanding that Capcom does follow the competitive scene for the game. Like, they have a whole pro tour. First of all, Capcom has their own pro tour, so number one, they are aware of where the game is at this current moment. So let's just start with that. That's number one. And the fact that they do follow the tournament scene, and they follow it and everything. They're looking to see what's strong in the current meta, what's weak in the current, what needs to be adjusted, what needs to be improved. I don't. That's really like the first reason why I don't think we're really gonna get a balance change. And like, I feel as though they would have done it by now, because we're on to the third season of characters, or we're currently in the third season of characters right now. We're halfway through. We already have Sagat, and Viper is going to be released in a matter of 2 days. It's the 13th of October right now. I really feel as though we would have gotten a new mechanic by now, because the game is getting pretty stale. Like, don't get me wrong, characters have definitely gotten a good amount of changes over these past 2 years. Like, I know we're on year 3, but the game Street Fighter 6 was released at the beginning of June, and June 2023, and now it's October of 2025. So it's been about 2 years and 2 months, but technically this is like the third cycle of seasonal characters we've been getting. And yeah, I really feel as though they would have done so by now, because after the first year, like the first, like, I guess you could say like a major change, right, was the option to perform wake up drive reversal in season 2. And although that was nice to add, it kind of gives every character a wake up reversal, kind of, I don't know if universalizing is the proper word, but like giving everybody like a general standard wake up option, invincible wake up option. That's nice, especially for the characters that don't have invincible reversals outside of supers. But that really doesn't change too much. And with the Elena update, we had the change to parries, the change to dry parry, where instead of performing a perfect parry by just inputting the dry parry input, now you have to tap back and parry to perfect parry mids and highs, and down back to perfect parry mids and lows, with the proper timing. And even though that makes perfect parries less degenerate, it's not changing too much. It's not changing that much, like, the game is still being played the same way. Everyone's still drive rushing in, abusing the reckless offense in the game, brainless approaches by turning green, random DIs, and just whatever else. And it's been like that for the past 2 years. The game has been played the same exact way the past 2 years. And not only that, but most combo routes are very generalized. If you want to cash out for a lot of damage, you just do a button into a drive rush cancel, maybe a couple buttons after drive rush cancel, then Again, a couple buttons, a special, and then to a super. I mean, that's just pretty much it. The routes are very standardized for the most part, with a couple characters having a few differing routes, whatnot, especially for, you know, high damage or optimal damage. And with Viper, if you guys saw from Viper's gameplay trailer, it looks like she's gonna have a little bit different of a combo routing, which is nice. But a nice breath of fresh air and easy on eyes compared to what we're seeing now, where it's just button drivers cancel special super, you know. So it's, but with that being said, you know, Capcom, like, they've had 2 Pro Tours for the game right now. They've had 2 Pro Tours for Street Fighter 6, and so they're very well aware of how the game is being played. And the fact that they haven't changed anything now, or haven't added anything to really shake up or change the meta, is a little weird. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little weird, at least for me. Like I said, this is all my personal opinion. On top of that, like I said, the pacing of the balance for the game, we've had 2 major updates so far, and not much has really changed since then. Besides just, you know, some characters getting major balances, like Ryu's like a pretty strong character now. JP is back to being a strong character, although I believe he was in strong throughout the entirety of the game. I feel like a lot of people just jump ship with him way too quickly. Ken's getting kind of power crept right now, so he's not like, what was he, like a top 3 character, like at the beginning of the game's life. So he's getting power crept by a few other characters like Akuma, Ryu. Terry's getting pretty strong now. You have Bison. JP's really good. Rashid. Just characters like that. So, you know, there has been some fluctuation between the top tiers and the high tier characters, but nothing to really change how the game is being played overall. And like, kind of like, if you compare the pacing of the balance changes between Street Fighter 5 and this game, we definitely got more adjustments in that game. I believe until like Championship Edition, we had like 2 balance patches a year, pretty much. Like, you had like the first like major balance patch for like that year, and then like halfway through the season, we got like another like smaller one that still got like some character adjustments and whatnot. But yeah, like 1 major patch a year does allow players to get used to the changes of the game, but nothing to really shake up the meta. It leaves the game pretty stale for the most part. And even though I'm still enjoying the game for the most part, and I'm searching and I'm finding enjoyment, but besides, you know, like improving myself and looking at my play and assessing my play, and also dabbling with some new characters every now and then. Like right now I'm learning Bison instead of just playing Ken all day, and I was learning Cammy like a month ago. It's still getting pretty stale, you know. I can't even lie about that. With that being said, even though I think the game's getting stale and I don't believe we're gonna get anything, I really hope I'm wrong, by the way. Like, I don't want to be right. I don't want to be right, y'all. I just want to put that, I don't want to be right. I want there to be change. I want us to get a new mechanic. Like, please, I think we need a new mechanic. We need something. But with that being said, I also don't think that the dev team, well, let me say this. I think the dev team nailed the initial idea of how they wanted to play the game from the start. But with how the game works and how everything in the game revolves around the drive gauge and the drive system, I also believe that it's going to be pretty difficult for the developers to work around that to find some major change that's going to shake up the game. You know, I don't really know what else they could do, because one thing, like, there are quite a few mechanics with this game, but it's gotten old now, and there needs to be something else to kind of breathe more life into the game, or you know, give us a breath of fresh air. There was a video that Reinhardt made, I believe, earlier this year. It's been a while since I watched that video, but he was expressing his dissatisfaction with throws in the game, because you know how strong throws are in throw and how strong throw looping is, right? But to long story short, Reinhardt suggested that there should be a move in Street Fighter 6 that where the purpose of it is to just like there's a strict purpose for it, and it's just to counter throws. Just that's it. Like the move, like whatever the move is, it's like a throw counter. Like it beats throw. Like the purpose of it is to beat throws, and that's just it. Like it doesn't matter if the move is safe or unsafe. It can be unsafe if you want, but like just the purpose of it is to beat throws. So like you can, so if you really believe that your opponent is going to throw you, you can input that move on wake up, or you can input that move, while you're being pressured, and call out the throw, and get a knockdown and pretty much take your turn back. If you want to use it to cost drive gauge or whatever, that's fine. But that was pretty much his suggestion, which I don't mind at all. I actually believe that's a pretty good suggestion. I just don't think that's in the long run. I don't know if that's gonna be enough for me personally, because I still believe that the game's gonna be, it's still gonna pretty much be the same-ish, as much as Street Fighter 5 had like a rough start, especially for like the first like couple years. I do believe that the game was a really solid game by the end of the game's lifespan, and that has everything to do with the producer and the current producer and directors of Street Fighter 6 right now, which I can't remember the names. I'm sorry, but one of the things that I do appreciate about Street Fighter 5 now is that we had different sets of V triggers and V skills, which allowed a little bit more expression, experimentation, and left more room for discovery in that game. So like you wouldn't really play, like two people wouldn't really play one character the same way once you had like your different sets of V triggers and V skills. Each character had a set of V trigger and V skill 1s, and then each character had a set of V trigger 2s and V skill 2s, which was nice. And I don't know if we're gonna be able to get something like that in the game, just because of the way how the drive system works. But my personal suggestion, I don't know if this is gonna be healthy for the game or not, but just a suggestion to throw that out there, right? Like, what if each character had a second set of supers, second set of super arts? That would be something nice to experiment with. Add a little bit more, thought process to the game of like how you want to set up your supers, and then you can mix between the first set of supers and the second set of supers. You could have like your first super art 1 with like your second super art 2, and maybe like your first super art 3, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? But that might be complicated to throw in within itself, but like I said, it's just a suggestion. Yeah, back to what I was saying, that I just don't know if the dev team would be able to do anything like that or adjust anything like that, because I kind of feel as though they put themselves between a rock and a hard place with the drive system. Like initially it was a great idea, and I think they played it safe and it worked well at first, but now that all of the the dedicated players are playing, just still playing the game, and they gotten used to how the system is now, like 2 years later, almost 2.5 years later, it's gotten stale, and we're expressing our dissatisfaction with it because there are things about the game that we don't like. Yeah, like it's gonna be hard to incorporate new stuff to this game this way, just because of how delicate the drive system is. I feel as though if you add in one thing, you might have to adjust like 3 other things or 4 other things or 2 other things or whatever, like, and that's kind of what it is. Like it might be hard to make those adjustments, but who knows, man. Like I said, this is really just a discussion video. I would love to see what you guys say in the comments. Like please feel free. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? And just tell me why or why not, man. Like just I really don't know what to do here. Like, I'm gonna keep playing the game because for the most part I enjoy it. There are definitely some things about the game that I don't like, but no fighting game is perfect. But yeah, man, I really don't think we're gonna get another mechanic. It just seems like it'd be really difficult to do. But I could be wrong. They know the design of the game from the inside and out. I'm just playing the game, and I'm just seeing, and I'm just expressing how I feel based off of my experience as a player. But who knows? Like, tell me what you guys think in the comments. I would love to see what you guys say. If I find that Reinhardt video, I'll either include it in here or I'll put a link in the description. But I would love to see what you guys say. As always, y'all have a good day. This is Memba signing out. Viper's coming out in 2 days. Let's get it. Like, I'm gonna be playing a lot of Viper, or at least as much as I can, because I'm a working man now. So I'm gonna have to use my time wisely with that. But anyways, yeah, Viper's dropping. Tell me what you guys think about this discussion, and I'm out. Peace.